What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand, and today I'm going to be sharing some things I would do differently if I were to start Erin on Demand from scratch. Just a little background if you're new here. My business is a brand strategy company, and I help small business owners and large businesses get their brand in order, understand social media, understand who they're actually marketing toward. And I also have a product line, my top 3 notebook, and paid brand deals. So those are like the main things. And I started Erin on Demand in 2018. Now, I want to explain a few things that I would do differently if I were starting now, with hopes that it gives you a different perspective on some things that maybe you can incorporate into your business, especially if your business is kind of personal brand based, you're a coach maybe, or you're somebody who is an influencer and you lean more into like that creative entrepreneurship, more non-traditional, not like one single offer or storefront. You're kind of like the face of everything you have going. So number 1, I would start sooner. I really wanted to start a YouTube channel a lot sooner than I ended up starting it, but I do think that all the time that I didn't start it kind of led me to the place where once I did start it, it felt right. So it's really tough for me to do these kind of videos, by the way, just a disclaimer, because I am a firm believer that things happen the way that they're supposed to happen, and that I really wouldn't change my journey. I would start my YouTube channel sooner, and I would probably just kind of create for fun and just get in a rhythm, and hopefully that would have led me to be a little bit more confident when I actually did start my YouTube channel and my business in 2018. Number 2 is a big one that I do wish I actually did, and I wish I started scaling my products faster and sooner. I created this top 3 notebook, which has been a huge hit. And basically the concept is to just write 3 things down a day, your top 3 priorities for the day, and to get those things done, to focus only on 3 things a day. And when you do that, you end up getting so much more done. You build the momentum of your life, and you start to really see your world transform when you don't have your focus on too many things. It's like making productivity simple. And when we launched it, it went nuts. Like the demand was insane, and I was so happy, and I kind of just let it chill once planner season was kind of over. Planner season being like December through January-ish. I kind of let it just kind of simmer, and it almost felt like Erin on Demand's top 3 notebook, instead of having the top 3 notebook be its own company, and like us scaling that and creating other products and kind of turning it into more than just like a product sold on my own Erin on Demand website. So I would have leaned into that more, especially when we first launched, because the buzz and the traction and all of the incredible feedback that we got, I feel like we really could have use that as momentum to try to get into retail spaces sooner, try to do more products. We just dialed back a little and was like, oh my gosh, so exciting. We just made all this money. And like, it can get really easy to get caught up that you forget that there is more to reinvest in something like this, because it wasn't necessarily my main focus. It was something that my community really was gravitating toward, and it kind of just happened on accident. And so I wasn't really putting that at the forefront of like, Erin, this is like a really scalable thing that would help so many people. Number 3 is I would not bite off more than I can chew to make an offer appealing. It is not sustainable. I remember when I first started the eBrand Club, it's now the Creator College, but I was going live twice a week. I was like way overwhelmed, especially once business started picking up. I was starting to get more sponsorships. We were launching the top 3. Like, I got engaged, I got married, and like life just picked up all at once. So it just got to be a lot. And I don't think when I was creating the eBrand Club, I was looking at the long term. I was just trying to fill as much into it as I could to justify it being $20 a month. And a lot of times when we're new entrepreneurs, we feel that adding more things to an offer is what's going to make it more appealing, when a lot of that is just psychological and presenting your offer result forward instead of all of the things that you're including in it. So I really learned how to present offers a lot more effectively and sustainably, and to look at my business in the long term before I commit in the short term, overcommit in the short term. So looking at how sustainable an offer is before I put it out to the world. Number 4 is I would consider starting a brand that wasn't so centered around myself, but still leveraged personality and social media. It can get very difficult for the lines to not be so blurred. When you are the face of your own brand, it can be very difficult for people to be open-minded to someone else doing the job. It doesn't matter how much you've trained them. It doesn't even matter if they're better at the job than you are. They want you. And that is just a risk that you take when you create content and you leverage that as a personal brand into paid products or services, or mostly into paid services like coaching or, any type of done-for-you services. But I do think you can achieve the same thing, and it can be a more sustainable business model to use social media as not necessarily this personal brand that you're leveraging, but to create a different brand that still has that personable touch to it, but it's not centered around one person. Now, I love the community that I was able to build by being the face of my brand, and obviously I can't undo what I have done. I am glad I did not use my first and last name. I do think having some separation, like when people come up to me in public and they're like, "Are you Erin on Demand?" I'm like, great, I know that you are a part of my online community. So there is still some boundary that I have, but I do think that if I were to do it all over again, I probably would still have my personal stuff, but I probably would have started another page with a lot of my branding tips and all of those things, and my face wouldn't be as prominent on it. I would probably source other content from other creators and kind of build an organic following from repurposed content, as well as some organic content from myself, and sprinkling in other things. So I think people who do this really well it's really Nana with Every Stylish Girl. She has her personal brand, but she also has a brand that is not based on her. Deepika with Live Tinted has Live Tinted, but she also still has her personal brand. So obviously it's not too late to do that, but if I had to do it again, I don't think I would have rushed to be the face of my brand in the way that I currently am. Number 5 is I would hire for roles and not tasks. And we talk about this in the Creator to CEO program and in Creator College. When I first started Erin on Demand, I would I'd be like, oh, I need an editor, so I'll hire an editor. Then I'd be like, oh, I need someone to do my thumbnails and to actually upload the videos. So then I hired a YouTube manager for managing once the video was done, they kind of took over and got the video uploaded, scheduled, did the thumbnail, all the things, when really I could have just created one job title, and that one role could have been created with multiple tasks. This is a big thing because you will end up spending so much money hiring all these different people to do all these little tasks that you could have grouped together and presented as one job title. And I didn't have that perspective when I first started, and it actually took me talking to a team scaling consultant who really helped me understand why this would save me so much money, and why it also just creates more of a seamless flow within your team and your business's infrastructure by not having so many people doing so many little tasks. So that is definitely number 5. Number 6 is I would try to keep it fun for as long as possible and say no more. that's actually two things, but they fall into the same thing. But just soaking up where you are. I know it probably doesn't feel fun in the moment, but like when you look back on some of those moments that you have, especially if you vlog or if you're on YouTube and you can kind of look back and see how much you've grown, those moments are so important to soak up, especially before you get busier and busier and busier. And I just did a video on how to stop wasting time. And my number one mindset shift was you never get less busy. Like, stop putting off the things that you want to do to create the life you want because you think you're so busy now. Once you start, you get even busier. So it can take away from the fun of it, and it makes it feel more like work. Whereas when you're first starting, it just kind of feels like you're being creative and it feels fun and it's fresh and it's something new and it's a new experience. And as you keep going, that newness just kind of wears off. It's like when you buy a new house and it's got that new house smell or the new car smell, and you're just so excited to drive. You want to drive everywhere. And then over time, the new car smell starts to wear off and you just kind of get used to it. And it doesn't matter what kind of car you have. It could be, I don't care, whatever the most expensive car is. You're at some point, like, you kind of start, that newness starts to wear off, and now it's back to feeling like I'm just driving. So I want you to try to keep it as fun as possible for as long as possible. Business is still fun for me, but I would be lying if I said that it doesn't feel like work now. And then the other side of that is saying no more. And the more you say no, the funner it stays for longer. And number 7, this is like a bonus one, but I would keep my offers as simple as possible. Not having like low ticket offer, mid ticket offer, high ticket offer. Like, the sales funnel as we once knew it is kind of just like played out now. And it's almost like you feel like as a customer, you've never won or you've never gotten to what you desire because they're always selling you this bigger dream. And I think at the end of the day, you just have to trust your gut. I have 2 main offers, my creator college and my course, my creator to CEO course. But at one point I thought about doing a mastermind, and like, there are so many trends that will just send you all on your way, and like, it feels like you're moving with the wind, and you just have to stand firm on what makes the most sense for you, what's the most sustainable for you, and what's going to get your audience or community the best results. So simplifying your offers, whether it's a product or a service, like starting with one thing. Like, you don't need to launch a full line of productivity products. Start with one, test the market, see how it goes. That is one thing that I'm very glad I did with products, but I wish that I had kind of just stayed planted with one service-based offer so I didn't feel so overwhelmed at one point in time. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down below if you would do anything differently if you have a business, or if you can resonate with any of these tips. Just put the number that you felt seen the most in, and I would just love to see you guys' feedback. I love you guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.